that started turning my trading around. I don't, many of you know my story. I was a struggling trader for many, many years, and I asked myself eventually, after 7 years of failing, why am I so able to be so successful at so many other things in my life, throughout my life, including sports, and had found little to no success in trading? So that question kind of started me on a search that kind of started turning things around for me. And I'm going to share some of that with you and maybe try to get you to understand better why it is you may be struggling with your trading. Okay. And give you a different perspective on how to go about changing that. Not just a perspective, but we're actually going to take it a little bit further and talk to you about um, tools to use. Yeah, Mike, the video is up. I think everybody else is seeing it. Are you on a tablet or your phone? I don't believe yeah, I don't believe this projector works for tablets. You may want to try a computer or laptop if you have one. Yeah, okay. All right, now I have a presentation to do that I've prepared, and I'm going to try to stay on track with it. I may have some time at the end to answer a few questions, um, but by and large, I'm going to just kind of keep on going to stay on track. Now, I don't read the chat questions while I'm going through the presentations because it's very easy for me to get off track. Lisa and Connor are here, though, along with several of our traders that trade with us in the trade room every day. They will be happy to answer as many questions as you have during the presentation. If you have something specifically for me, I'm just going to request that you hold that until later. Okay, hold that until the end of the presentation, and then I will take a few minutes to answer the questions that maybe Lisa or Connor didn't answer or you wanted to ask me directly, okay? All right, so that being said, I am going to cover up the chat and we're going to proceed. And again, thanks again for coming today. We're going to do something a little bit different this time. I usually just start out with who I am. Most people that have been in trading for any period of time know who I am and probably know my story, but there are some people that maybe don't know yet. I started out as a struggling trader for about 7 years. I ended up working my way through the struggles, ultimately became a full-time trader. Ended up becoming a trade room moderator and a mentor, developed software to help people, some friends of mine that I was trading with. And so I've been a professional trader for a little while and doing that full time after having struggled for many, many years. So I've lived a life, at least my trading life, that a lot of people would really like to be able to do. So I have some insight on things that maybe people that have been, hedge fund traders or floor traders at the exchanges or whatever may not know or understand about you. Okay, so I've been through the ringer, um, and so I'm going to talk about my style of trading first and how I trade and what and my criteria for trading first. I usually hold this off until later, but I think going into the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, it'll be helpful for you to know and understand this about me. So these are my trading style characteristics that are personal to me, okay? I share these with my trade room members, and I will explain to them why each of these trading characteristics are personal to me, and that might be where they want to start, and then kind of change some things to fit their own trading style and characteristics. But there's a lot more involved in doing that. You just don't start and change. But let me tell you what I do every day, okay? I consider myself a conservative trader, but not an overly conservative trader. If you had to draw a line from very conservative to very aggressive, I'm somewhere in, on the far left, not very far left, but kind of on the first quarter or third of that line, okay? So I consider myself a somewhat conservative trader, which means that I'm going to wait and I'm going to bypass some trade setups that other people may take. But I want a higher probability of them being winning trades. So I will forego some trade setups that have a good probability of being winning trades, but I'm looking for just a little bit higher probability. Now those happen less often. So that's what makes me what I consider a conservative trader. If you come to our trade room, you'll notice that some of our traders are less conservative than I am. They will post trades with wins or losses that I didn't consider as fitting my criteria. The cool thing about what we do in this bunt trading style that we do is that there is a very rigid framework of rules for our bunt trading, but within that framework, there is a lot of flexibility to tune some of your rules to better fit your trading criteria, your trading style, your personality characteristics. Okay, I like to factor in a defensive position into my trades. This is what makes me a bit more conservative. So what I call safety nets, and I'll talk to you and I'll show you safety nets as we go further. But I like to know that in the event the trade goes against me, there's potentially something there to help me. Okay. I do not trade for money. Money is a net result of what I do. Okay. I don't look at money during the trading day. I don't think about money. I used to all the time, but I've conditioned myself to simply do my job as a trader. My job, according to my trade plan, is to win trades. Or no, actually it's to put on and manage trades according to my trade rules. Now, whether they win or lose doesn't matter. What I do is I will stop trading if I have a net 3 winning trades or a net 3 losing trades. I will stop trading live for the day and I will continue trading in sim for the balance of the trading session. That's my trading style. Okay. So like I said, I remove money from all of my trading decisions because as the lead trader of my trading company, it is not my job to count money. That's the bookkeeper's job. I do not count money. My job is to execute the trade plan, and that's it. I have a small target and a small stop. I want to get in and out of the markets as fast as I can. I always have a bracket order when I enter a trade, and I have a 5-tick target and a 7-tick stop. Now that does not mean that I don't manage my trades. Okay, I do manage my trades, and I will shorten my stop if conditions change such that I wouldn't have gotten into that trade to begin with. Okay. So like I said, 3 to 4 net winners or losers, and then switch to sim. Over time, over the years, I have really balanced out to a very regular monthly trading income. I never have huge winning months or huge losing months. It balances out to being very steady and very regular, which is part of being that conservative style of trading. I have reached a point in my trading, that point of consistency, that most people don't even realize is where they need to be. Okay, most people want to make a lot of money at trading, and that's as far as they've gone. I want to quit my job and be a trader for a living. And that's as far as they go. As far, first I got to learn it, and then I want to make enough money to quit my job. The ultimate goal should be to become consistent, because if you can become a consistent trader, you will have beaten 95% of all traders out there. You will have done something most traders can't do. And once you have become consistent at doing something in trading, very consistent, then you just keep doing it, but you just add a little bit more to it, and then a little bit more, until you've gotten to the point where all these little bits start adding up. Okay? So I have a very regular monthly income. I did grow my account. When I started this, I had gotten my account down to almost nothing. And when I started turning things around, which is a whole long story, and I'll have this an event someday, and we'll record my whole story. But I was just about to throw in the towel. I had a little bit of money left, and I decided I would try an experiment. So anyway, this experiment, that's the whole, it could be a book, the whole long story. Things started happening. My account started growing instead of shrinking. And so I decided that I would grow the account to a certain point with single contract trades. When I got it to a certain point, then I would add a contract and keep doing what I'm doing, but instead of trading one contract, I trade two contracts. And I grew it from there. Okay, and it took time. All right, so that's a very short version of me in a nutshell as a trader. Okay, so that you know who you're listening to, you know where you come from. Hey, if there are people here, if you're here specifically for me to tell you how to make a lot of money and to show you indicators and trade setups, and convince you that you should buy our product, and you're here to want to be convinced and shown lots of static charts where I could drag things around and point at wavy lines and stuff, this isn't going to be that event, okay? If you want me to show you a lot about the nuts and bolts of trading, I'm going to show you some of that. I'm going to show you some of our bunt trading. I'm going to show you the indicators. I'm going to show you the setups. But that's not what this event is about. 20% of trading is what most of you want to know about. And that is the putting on the trades, the management of the trades, making a bunch of money and living the happy life. Okay, so that's what everybody wants to know about. Nobody really wants to know about the stuff that's the most important part of trading, the 80%. If you're not interested in the 80%, the stuff that you need to know, the foundation that you need to know to get to the 20%, if you're not interested in that, you probably don't want to be here. At least not today. This isn't that event, okay? This event today, I'm trying to get you to better wrap your head around what it is that you're trying to accomplish as a trader. All right? First thing is that I realized when I asked myself that question, why is it I've been so successful in my life in so many different areas, including sports? Why am I such a failure at trading? What is different? And the answer was suddenly abundantly clear. I don't approach trading the way I've approached anything I've ever gotten good at. So I started thinking about the things that I have been good at in my life, and I realized that sports and trading have an awful lot in common. Not just the fact that they are participatory type events, that there are other people involved, but that the process of becoming successful is almost identical. But I wasn't approaching my trading that way. I had some unrealistic assumptions and expectations about trading. So let's take this for an example, and you tell me if this seems realistic to you. You want to be a good golfer. In fact, you want to get so good at it that you might want to someday consider that you might want to make a living at it. So the first thing you do is you go out and you look and you read about golf and you watch golf on TV and you go, okay, yeah, I think that's what I want to do because that looks really like a cool way to make a living. So you go get yourself the best golf clubs you can afford. You go to the golf club store and you go, which golf clubs are going to make me the best golfer? And of course, the golf club store guy is going to say, these really expensive ones over here, you won't have to, they'll do all the work for you. You just have to buy them, and that's it. Okay, so you buy into that. Okay, I'm going to buy these golf clubs because that guy said that's all I need. Then you're going to go hire yourself a coach because you do need some instruction. So now you've got the coach telling you what you need to know and the best golf clubs you can afford. That's pretty much all you need, right? I mean, that's pretty realistic way to become successful, to become a pro. Not too realistic, is it? So let's say trading indicators and systems. Let's say those are your golf clubs, okay? Those are tools, right? Those are tools to help you do something, okay? The coach, trade rooms, trade room moderators, trading videos, okay? And all that leads is the expectation is that leads to trading success. Now, this is an oversimplification for sure, but it's what most of us have gone through in our minds and just can't understand what part are we missing. What is missing? Why can't I get this? But we all know that you can't just buy golf clubs and get a coach and then be a winning. There's a piece missing, right? There's a part missing. We all have this dream. Again, I'm going to go back to sports or continue with sports. We all have this dream of this feeling these guys have here as it relates to trading, right? We want to be able to walk onto that trading field, okay, when we sit down to trade every day. We're walking onto that field and going into competition, and we want to feel that feeling at the end of every single trading day. Okay, and that's the mission. Here's the problem. To get to that, you got to start here. I don't know how many of you played football, American football. If you remember two-a-days, where you go in the morning and then they let you go home for a couple hours and eat and rest and then come back and you do it again in the afternoon. I think they do three-a-days now. This is where you start the process of building something that might turn into something, turn into a football player, turn into a team. Okay, we have the conditioning that needs to be happening. Building the tools that you're going to need to do a particular job. Okay? Building them inside yourself. You realize that you all have the tools to be successful traders. You just have to build them to where you get them to a point where you can use them successfully. Okay? None of this is done during game time, right? Never done during game time. In fact, you can look at all of these things and you can say not any of those things are done in a football game. Yet they're all extremely important in building the foundation of a championship football team. Okay? I hope I'm not losing some of you. This is very important to get this in your mind as it relates to your trading. Everything starts here. The next step is you're gonna start practicing skills, specific skills. These are also about not just building skills, but conditioning yourself to do things a certain way, the same way every time. Teaching yourself to do things automatically without having to concentrate on how to do something. Okay? No concentration involved. Things start becoming automatic. Okay? So you start building these skills. You've got planning to do. You've got studying to do. Studying and planning is a huge part of any sports that you're ever going to get good at. You've got to do it if you're going to be successful. All right? Watching game films, studying playbooks, looking at the game plan in the middle of a game to figure out what is it I'm supposed to do here. Now, you take all of that and you have a short simulation of the actions needed to perform the certain task that you're going to have to perform when it's real. Okay? So you want to take these short, simple simulations. Then you want to take those simulations and turn them into live action simulations. But they're live action simulations. By the way, I'm not just trying to point out something to you. We actually provide ways for traders to do this. Okay? I'm going to get to that later, but I don't want to lose you at this point by saying, okay, I'm getting sick of football. Show me charts. Okay? We're going to show you how to do all of this stuff. But first you have to understand why it's necessary. You're going to build a foundation. Okay? You've got this live action simulation of a real game. Now, this is called a scrimmage for those of you who don't know. You're playing a game against your own team. Okay? You're practicing what it's going to be like in a real football game. This is more about conditioning. This is more about doing things automatically to respond to current conditions without hesitation, without having to think. How do you think you're going to do that as a trader if you don't work at it and start with the foundations from the very beginning? And then it's game time. I call game time those hours that I sit down in the morning and I trade live in live markets. That's game time. Okay? These guys will prepare over 20 hours, sometimes 30, I don't know, pros maybe much more than that, for a 1 hour game. Why? Why in the world would they prepare over 20 hours for a 1 hour game? Because that's what it takes. Their competition is doing that. And if they don't do it, their competition's going to kick their butt. Now, game time. You You went out there and you killed it. You followed the game plan. You did what you were supposed to do. Maybe it was a tough game. Maybe you won. Maybe you lost. I don't know, but you left it all out there and you were prepared as best you could be. And then what? Now that you've gotten to this game and you've gone through game one, you're done? Now you know how to play this game and you don't have to do anything else but show up for game time? Maybe watch a movie about football every now and then? Guess what these guys do? The guys that are either professionals or they want to be professionals or they want to be good at it, it starts again Monday morning. And they do it all over again. Every single week. Now, part of what we do, our traders do this every single day. It's part of the process of being a successful trader. All right, so the sport of trading. All right, so what are the similarities? Just like in sports, trading is competitive, right? If you lose today, that means somebody else won. Or for every winner, there's a loser. That was supposed to, oh, something happened there. Yeah, I often fantasized every time I take a loss. I'd sit there fantasizing about the guy that just took my money. That some bitch. He was getting rich off of me. But it's true. For every winner, there's a loser. For every loser, there's a winner. Just like in sports. It requires skill to be a successful trader. And how do you gain skill? By looking at static charts? By reading forums? By watching videos? By doing trade room trials? You guys do any of that stuff? Sitting in webinars? Is that how you gain skill? Nope. You're going to gain skill by experience. Sports and trading require hard work and practice. And it requires study of the right things. Hard work, practice, and study of the right things. You could say, well, I do the hard work. I do practice. I do study. It's got to be the right things or you're wasting your time. Here's the problem most of us have, and I had it for many years. I'd sit down and I'd work at my trading for 3 or 4 hours, never knowing for sure if whatever it was I was working at was going to have a positive net result for me. Never knowing for sure. Requires conditioning. There's an awful lot of us that have a lot of mental baggage, right? Man, this trading thing will just eat you up mentally. We've got to start conditioning out some bad habits and conditioning in good habits. You can't talk yourself out of bad habits or good habits. You can only condition them, all right, in or out. Just like in sports trading, it's all about finding an edge over your opponents. And guess what? You don't have to have a huge edge. It doesn't have to be a big edge. Just has to be an exploitable edge that if you have a good set of rules, a good game plan, and you stick to it, that edge will pay out over time. Okay? This is big. In sports, you will spend a lot of time understanding your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. How many people do that in trading? How many of you are actually going, and I'm not reading the chat, feel free to answer, but I'm not reading the chat. You're actually looking at the charts understanding that every time it ticks, it moves, somebody did something. And you're thinking about what it is they did, why did they do it, what was their motivation, and what's likely to happen next. Okay? If you're not doing that, you're not studying your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. And it also involves understanding your own. You know why I trade for 5 ticks? Because I suck at trying to be a long-term trend trader and managing my emotions. I suck at it. I'm much better at it now as far as managing my emotions because it's not part of who I am as a trader, because I conditioned myself out of that. I was trying to be a trend trader with single contracts or small lots because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. And my emotions just couldn't handle it. So I changed and started doing things that fit my strengths and weaknesses. Okay? Requires a offensive plan and a defensive plan. How many people actually sit down with a defensive plan written down in their trade plan? Most trade plans I see of people that haven't been through our courses yet, if they show me their trade plan, it's going to tell me when they enter trades. That's what I'm going to read. It might be about a page and a half of some rules on when to enter a trade. And maybe even some rules on managing that trade, but not very often. Just like sports, trading can be a hobby or it can be a career. You just have to decide which one and approach it accordingly. All right, so that was a lot of stuff I just threw at you, right? You're like, oh man, this looks like a lot of work. I'm not sure I want to listen to this guy anymore because he is not saying what I want to hear. Well, there is some good news. If you're wondering how you would manage to treat your trading like a sport, I'm going to give you some good news. There are those in sports that are specialists. They pick one thing to do, they practice that one thing, they do it over and over and over until they're the best in the world at it, or one of the best. They do something small, they get really good at it, and specialize. That's bunt trading. We're going to do something very small. We're going to be the best in the world at it because we have a system for practicing. And we're going to do it over and over and over again until it's so mind-numbingly boring you want to find another line of work. I promise you. When you do this right, when you've done the work, it's probably one of the most boring things that you're going to do in your entire day because there's nothing to think about. There's no emotion. All you have to do is pay attention. When it's your turn, you get up, you do this little thing, you do it almost perfectly, and you sit back down again, and you wait for your next opportunity. This is bunt trading. This is what we do. All right. Oh, interesting little side thing here. I'm gonna pat us all on the back here. We got an email about this time, maybe a little bit later in the year last year. Or we got this notification from Traders Planet that they said that we had been nominated by a bunch of people for some awards, and they said, "Would you like to participate?" And we were like, "Well, sure, okay, that sounds good. What do we have to do?" And they said, "Okay, well, all you have to do is mail out these ballots to your mailing list, and just keep mailing them out and try to get people to click your name to vote for you." And I immediately thought, no, because that's really all you're trying to do is start spamming the people on our mailing list to get them to sign up for Trader Planet. So we're not doing it. And that was the end of it, right? Well, that didn't mean we weren't going to be on the ballot because we'd already been nominated. It simply meant that we weren't going to participate in trying to win. So we forgot about it. About 6, 8 weeks ago, I don't know what, Connor found it or something. Somebody told us we won. We didn't even know. We didn't even know that nobody told us that we had actually won a couple of awards. Now, I don't think we won second place, I think. But we won awards for the best trading room and for the best trading software. So we found this out a few weeks ago, and then we forgot about it again. We went on about our business, and we thought I brought it up in a meeting the other day, and like, you know what? We need to tell people we won. They might be interested in this. So anyway, that's the story of us getting these awards on Trader Planet. We had no idea we'd actually won something, but we're pretty proud of it, actually, since we didn't even send out ballots to our own people. All right, so characteristics of bunt trading. It's specialized. It's very simple. It's very specific. We have very, very specific things that we're looking for and that are actionable. We have a step-by-step process that we use for qualifying our trades and taking trade setups, okay? Like you saw, small targets and stops. We do this because the markets are very dangerous places, right? Remember I said I wanted to exploit my strengths and weaknesses? I wanted to build a system around my weaknesses. Well, the longer I'm in the market with my money exposed, the more nervous I get. And the more likely it is that one of these market makers is going to manipulate the markets to go against me so quickly there's nothing I can do about it. And you've all had it happen to you. You're just cruising along, maybe trades positive, negative, and all of a sudden, whammo, goes against you and stops you out. We've all had it happen. The less time you're in the market, the less likely it is that's going to happen. So it's much less speculative to get these small targets and stops. We're going to exploit weakness in the current price. So we're looking at a price level where there is overwhelming information that that price is about to stop and turn. This is an extremely repeatable. It repeats all day long, every day. So it allows for conditioning. Okay? If something is repeatable, you can practice it. You can find it, you can do it over and over and over again, and you can practice it. These little small pieces does not take long to add up to big chunks. And like I said, there's less risk involved because of less market exposure time. You hear these people say that trend trading, trend following has less risk because trends will typically continue. So I want to know, which trend are they talking about? Because within every trend, there are other trends. You try to ride a trend, the longer you ride it, the riskier it becomes because of the exposure time in the market. This creates a much more relaxed and less stressful environment. I actually had a visitor in our trade room on Monday that asked me if I was always this relaxed in our trading. I think I was in the middle of a trade and we were talking about something else that didn't have anything to do with the trade or whatever. And he was just amazed that I wasn't screaming and yelling and jumping up and down and getting all excited. It was just put on a trade and it's going to do what it's going to do. I'm going to manage it the way I'm supposed to. I don't really have to think about it because I've done it thousands and thousands of times. We have these indicators we call heads-up display indicators. I'll show you. They're right where you're looking. They're right where your eyeballs are. You don't have to look anywhere else. All the decision making happens right there in front of you on the current bar. No other charts, no other monitors, nothing else. Right there in front of you. All right. We use 1 minute time charts, one minute period charts. Again, because we want to react to a weakness, and when that weakness shows up, the faster the chart, the sooner we can see that weakness appear. And it only takes one chart to do this, and just a few indicators. I don't need multiple time frames. And our setups are very clear and concise. They are a step-by-step qualifying process. Okay? Now, we have a program. It's part of our, you can either participate in just the program or do the VIP, and this program is in the VIP program. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to our website and look at the up along the menu. You'll see training. This is our fast forward program. We've got a whole bunch of information that teaches you how to do all these things I'm telling you that you should be doing. That's one of the things that I could talk about, practicing and working at your trading all day long. But this shows you how to do it and gives you not just tools on how to do it, but troubleshooting if things aren't going well, like market replay. Part of this program, this fast forward program, is we have group training sessions. And today's group session was using market replay, right? I wasn't there, but I think that's what it was. Using market replay. Market replay is a huge part of what we do. A huge part of this practice, and only NinjaTrader has it. I think MultiCharts has it, but it's horrible. But that part of this program is teaching you how to use this. Remember I showed you how to do some short-term tuning, or I showed you the slide where the guys were practicing, and they're not wearing any pads, but they're up against other players. Okay, so that was kind of like there's certain types of practicing using market replay, using our videos, using our tools, that you can do that type of practicing. Then there's certain type of practicing that you can do where it's actually like a scrimmage, where you can practice and train without actually risking taking losses, financial losses. And then you can move into game time, okay? Excuse me. So this is our fast forward program that's part of our VIP. So if you've got any questions about that, send us an email at bunt@theintentionaltrader.com. Okay, so we've got another event. I'm going to talk a bit about our bunt trading right now, but I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. I'm going to go in, again, this is more in generalities today, to let you know what we do so that you can decide if it may be right for you or not, okay? So on Thursday, though, I'm going to go into a lot more detail. We're going to talk about specifics about why this works, what's happening, what are the weaknesses we're looking for, what people are doing when those weaknesses happen, why the market makers are doing what they do, how they do it, how we recognize what they do it, and how we know what's likely to happen next. Okay? All of that's going to happen on Thursday. Okay? So you can register for that. I think Connor said he was just going to register everybody that's here. He's just going to auto register you, but I think that's what Connor said he was going to do. But if not, just go ahead and register either way. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I like to use videos for evaluating my trading. I will use videos to show people what I do. I have sat through so many webinars where the moderator will go on a static chart and show you historical information. Okay? And in hindsight, isn't it interesting how easy it is to see and understand what the moderators are pointing out? Oh, yeah. Oh, I see that. There's the entry and there's the exit, and you followed. Oh, man, that looks great. Perfect. Oh, man, I get it. It's very easy for your mind to kind of fill in some of the blanks. As an example, if football teams did that, they might take a picture of the beginning of a play and a picture of the end of the play, and then try to fill in the gaps on what exactly happened during that play. Okay? There's an awful lot of information that happened between the beginning and end of that play. Yet that's what static charts do. Although you might see a path that price followed, you won't actually know what happened on that path unless you actually watch price move. And then have the ability to stop it and evaluate it. That guy's getting his block. That guy's getting his block. Opened a big hole. Okay. That guy missed his block. Okay, there's a whole lot of information. Ran for 30 yards or something. Now, with video, there is a whole lot of information that you can now get that you're not going to get from watching static charts. So you will not see me trying to convince you that what we have is awesome on static charts. But I will show you videos of how punt trading works. Because it's very important. There's a huge difference. Have you ever noticed that you've watched webinars of guys using static charts? It makes total sense. You go to their trade room and it doesn't work anything like what he was showing you on the video. This, what I'm showing you now, is exactly what you're going to see in our trade room. Okay, it's sped up a little bit so that you guys don't have to sit through every tick. But here's what happens, okay? We've got some momentum building. Price came down, make sure, right here. Price came down, hit the edge of this zone, which is our support zone. The next bar opened right here with divergence. We're showing weakness here because we're showing a lot of strength. We have a lot of strength. But then once strength sets in, once you see a lot of strength, and then we hit this area of support, and this bar is obviously being manipulated by the market makers. This is our speed tick here. I'll explain more about that on Thursday. and we have a divergent condition at the open of this bar, we know that although that we're setting lower lows on price, we're actually setting a higher low on momentum. That's our divergent condition. That's part of our exhaustion that we're reading. Okay? Very specific things happening here, and we're looking for a very specific reaction. And we're looking to get in and out of that trade. Now, if this thing went 50 more ticks, I couldn't care less, because this is what I'm trading. This is my sweet spot. I get in, I get out, I put money in the bank, and I relax. All right? Same thing. You'll see this over and over and over again. Now, this is a speed tick trade setup. Put a buy order on the open of this bar. We have this momentum pushing down. This bar is turning a light color gray. That's momentum. We have a manipulation of this bar by the market makers. We have major support. We have an oversold condition. This bar opens 5 ticks or less from this support. Put on a buy order right here. And again, I couldn't care less what happens after I hit my 5 ticks. Boom. This just looking at this gets all of our traders excited. Price came down. Again, it's the same thing over and over. You notice I don't have to explain a lot. It's the same thing over and over and over again. We have strong momentum. These are our velocity bars, so we have strong velocity. When we have strong velocity and momentum, exhaustion has to set in. It's a given. It will set in. You see it on every trend. Does any trend move in one direction? No. It moves and then it pulls back, or it retraces, and then moves again and then retraces, and then moves again and retraces. That's what trends do. Why does it do that? I'll explain it on Thursday. We have a divergent condition at the open of this bar after we had these conditions here. The buy order went on right here, and off it goes, like that. All right, same thing here, over and over and over again, okay? I could keep showing you this. But this is what we do every day, and here's the cool thing. You ever go to a webinar and you show up in the trade room after the webinar and you don't recognize anything that happened in the webinar is not on the charts? You know, it's like, what is this? This isn't what I thought I was coming to look at. All right, so how many ticks do you need? Well, let's just say we're trading for 5 ticks. You've worked your way up to 5 lots. Let's say you have about, there's your fees. And on a single trade, you do $226. I mean, how many of those do you need? Because we're getting specialized. We're not trying to do too many things. We're not trying to be too many types of traders. Okay? We're going to do one thing. We're going to be the best in the world at it. The big money's looking for me to stay in the markets for a long time. They want me to stay in the markets. How else are they going to get my money? All right, so these are the setups that we're going to talk about on Thursday. This is called our Speed Flash. This is a Speed Tick setup. This is our Speed Max setup. We're going to talk about those setups and why they work. We're going to talk about the indicators and why they work, why they're important. We're going to talk, there's some more indicators that are kind of supporting indicators for the setups. Now, indicators. Let's talk about indicators real quick. What is an indicator? Got a lot of people that believe indicators are signal generators, that they tell you to do something. We get these questions that just crack me up all the time. Some of you might be thinking about them. What about false positives? And I say, what's a false positive? Well, when the indicator says price is going to do something and then it doesn't do it. Well, indicators don't, that's the interesting thing for me, that people come in and into trading and nobody's ever told them that indicators don't tell you that something's about to happen. Indicators give you information about what is happening. Okay? Markets are going to do what they're going to do. But all we can do is take the best information that the markets provide to us and then make a decision on what we want to do based on that information. And that's called our rules, right? So we have a lot of indicators on this chart here. But there's only one trade set up, and by now you should know what it is. It's actually right there. Okay? Lots of indicators, lots of things telling us that actually there was another one. That's actually a trade set up right there, and it was a loser. It ended up being a losing trade. All right, but these indicators in and of themselves only indicate that a condition exists. Okay? And so we're looking for a confluence of conditions to suggest a trade is a high probability setup. Okay? Same thing here. There's one trade setup. It's right here. Now, what the cool thing is these are divergence indicators right here. They print on the open of the bar. Look what price did. Boom. Open, boom. I can't guarantee this is going to happen. I was just noticing this on this chart. Open here, boom. Went up. That one didn't work. That one did. So, but what I'm trying to tell you is that indicators indicate a condition exists, and we want to see a confluence of conditions. Okay? And all we want to know, this is our heads-up display indicators. These indicators that are right where our eyeballs are, right here. We don't have to look anywhere else. All I want to know is, does a condition exist? Yes or no? Don't tell me different levels, different gray areas. There's almost this. This one's over this. This one's under this. This one's crossed over this one. This, I failed at that for so long. That's one of my weaknesses. Just tell me when something exists, and I'll make a decision from there. Okay? So as an illustration, I like to do for doing this, for using indicators to help you make a decision. A thermometer, the temperature on a thermometer doesn't tell you to do anything. Doesn't tell you to put a coat on. Particularly if it's in an area where you're not really sure if you should be wearing a coat or not. Maybe the thermometer says it's 65 degrees outside, and you don't know whether you should leave and put a coat on or not. So that's one indicator of your level of comfort outside. If we start adding other indicators, you're going to be able to make a better decision. Is it raining? Is it windy? Cloudy? Whatever. Knowing all of those things now helps make the decision a lot easier, doesn't it? And you're going to have more information to make a better decision. All right, so we're going to show you all of this on Thursday. Now, we have a live trading room that we won an award for. We're going to open that up to you guys that are still here. We're going to make it available to you if you want to come hang out with us in the trade room for a little while. Send us an email and request the a trial for the trade room. Now, let me tell you this. You come hang out with us in the trade room. It is a trading room. It is not a teaching room. We trade there. We are not really set up to be to maximize your time in learning our system, right? You want to maximize your time in learning what we do. We have a lot of other materials for you. You can spend much less time and gain a lot more knowledge and information about us and what we do and our products and our services with a much more efficient way. But that being said, we know and understand that people love to sit in trade rooms. So we're going to invite you to come sit in ours. Just send us an email. We'll get you fixed up. Don't forget about Thursday at 4:30 Eastern U.S. time. Okay. Hopefully you've already registered for that. If not, go to our website and register. Now, for those of you that are here, we do have a special offer for you. This is our one and done offer. This is where a high percentage of our traders, they may come in at a lower package, but typically are going to upgrade to our VIP package. Now, we're going to make this package available to you at a big discount here. We call it the one and done because after this, there's really nothing else to buy. We have nothing else to say. There's a couple other things that we do. We have a private mentoring program that's not part of the VIP. And then we have another product that we're associate or affiliate sales of the Shark Indicators, Bloodhound, and Blackbird products. And so that's not included because that's we just help them sell their product, but our products work with them. So included in this is all of our trade room indicators, all that we have now, and anything that we develop for the future, VIPs get it for free. We have a group mentoring session every week that we call our AHA session. I told you at the beginning of this that 80% of what you need to know, you don't even know you need to know, okay? 20% is what most people are after. 20% is what most people will teach you. Unfortunately, 20% doesn't quite get you to the point of at least being profitable. You've got to have some of the other 80%. And this is what I help you with during the AHA sessions every Wednesday, okay? Excuse me. You have a lifetime membership to our award-winning trade room. You have lifetime access to our Fast Forward training program. You'll get a VIP orientation from one of our staff. You'll get if you want to try to get a funded trading account at Top Step Trader, and you want to be, it's called a combine, so you have to do like a trial. We'll sponsor you on that. It does cost a little bit of money, but we'll take care of that for you when you tell us that you're ready, okay? So we do have a priority support for our VIPs, and we'll also help you with and remotely log onto your computer and set everything up for you if you'd like us to. Praveen does that all the time. So ordinarily on our website it's about $5,100, but we're going to do it here for $4,250 for a single payment, and that would include doing the PayPal 6 months same as cash. If you want to do that, we would consider that a single payment. Or if you want to break it up, we'll do 6 payments of $820 each per month, okay? But when you go in to do the purchase and you want to do that, just use that promo code and it'll set you up on a recurring payment schedule, okay? If you're not ready to invest in, in the whole thing, you want to go a little bit slower, that's fine. A lot of people start with the starter bundle and then upgrade to the VIP. We'll give you a path to upgrade. It's not going to be as cheap, but it certainly give you a little bit of time. So we've got several of our indicators included in that. Plus, we're going to give you a free month in our trade room. And we're going to do that for just $850. Okay, and that's usually about $1,100. Now we're going to do that until Monday, and then everything goes back to the website price after Monday. Okay. All right, that's it. I made it almost a little over an hour. Hopefully, you guys found this interesting and potentially enlightening on thinking about trading a different way. Thursday, I'm going to expand a whole lot more on the specifics on the 20%. Okay, I know and I understand that you really want to know mostly about the 20% because that's the fun and exciting part of trading. The 80%, not fun and exciting. However, without it, you're not going to be a successful trader. Okay, so that's why I felt it very important to go ahead and go over this stuff with you. But on Thursday, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of how all of this works and why it works and why it makes so much sense. Okay. Are there any questions for me that didn't get answered in the room? Does anybody have anything specific for me? Not going to take much time. I actually prefer to probably do most questions on Thursday. Interesting question, Charlie. How would you think would be the best way to get good at something that happens quickly? Yeah, I think Connor registered you for Thursday. If you're here, he registered you. Well, no, not anticipation. I just talked about it for a long time. What would you think, Charlie, would be the best way to get good at doing something very quickly? Lisa knows. Oh. There you go. Practice. We'll teach you how to practice. Here's the thing, Charlie. You don't have to sit and wait for a particular setup to show up or hope that it shows up. We'll teach you how to go find all of those setups, how to write down where they occurred, then go into Market Replay, load all the data, pull them up on the charts, pull up a trading dome, and trade them one after another after another. And in about 10 minutes, you can practice 10, 15, 20 times that trade setup. And practice and practice and practice. It's right there in front of you. We teach you how to shorten your learning curve. You're going to work at it just as hard. You're going to get just as many opportunities to practice a trade. We're just going to help you get rid of all of that waiting time. We're going to try to get you much more efficient at your practice. That's what the Fast Forward program is all about, is creating efficient practice time, creating efficiency in gaining experience. You can gain a month's worth of experience in a couple of days. Practice, 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 and it's right there in front of you. Okay? So instead of sitting in a trade room for an hour waiting for one trade setup, you could take that hour and practice 20 or 30 trade setups. Make sense? Anybody here? Linda, you're here. What do you think about the Fast Forward program? Has it helped at all? Anybody else? Who else is here that uses Fast Forward? It's what's missing. Yeah, you can actually, if you have a job and but you still want to learn this, and you, but man, I can't practice because it's during market hours. I'm at work. That doesn't matter. We'll teach you how to practice just like you're really there in real time on the live markets. Solomon, our indicators only work on NinjaTrader charts. Now, if you want to place trades on MetaTrader, that's fine. And you can use the free charts from NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader is free. A lot of people don't realize that, but it's free unless you want to start trading with it. You do have to pay for data, but data is not very expensive. So you can provide data to the free NinjaTrader charts, run our indicators, play and do our setups, but just place your trades on your MetaTrader domes or however you want to do it. Does that make sense? Oh, we have a guy. We have a guy here that will turn it into the most simple thing you've ever done. Praveen has, I should have had this pulled up. Where is that? Let's see. Did I have this? I was just looking at this today. Let me pull up something for you real quick if you want to know what kind of support you're going to get. Then that we're not going to just take your money and run. Let me show you something, and I don't look at this near often enough, but our little buddy just impresses me all the time and impresses everybody else. Let me show you our reports. And this is what, after a support request, this is what people send us. This is our support desk, and this is after we leave. After you're done with support, people, we send off this little questionnaire. Oh, I don't know who said that. Lisa is a treasure? That's got to be a typo. But look at this. This is our feedback from our support. Okay. Feel free to screen grab this and read it later or whatever. But look at the stars. Look at the comments about our support guy and Lisa. We're very proud of our support, and we need to start patting ourselves on the back more and publishing this more, because a lot of people, Carlton, what happened? Are you still here? You gave him a 2-star. Uh-oh. Praveen, you're fired. Didn't I see Carlton here a little while ago? Anyway. Yes, that's how we do it. Solomon, we use TeamViewer. Praveen would actually come onto your computer, set everything up for you, give you a tutorial, and get everything going for you. And then if you ever have problems, he just surfs right onto your computer and fixes it for you. That's the way we do things here. Yeah, we have a market replay data downloader. We'll also, VIPs get that for free also. Normally there's a monthly subscription fee for using it, but our VIPs get it for free, and you can download. I don't know if you've ever used NinjaTrader's utility to download replay data, but it's very painful and slow process. And so we created a downloader where we can download all in one click. You can just download as much data as you want. So that's also part of our VIP. All right, any other questions? All right, well, great. Thanks everybody for coming. I really look forward to seeing you on Thursday, where we're going to expand, get into a little bit more detail on the why bunt trading works, how it works, how you can make it work for yourself. If you've got any questions, just contact us at bunt@theintentionaltrader.com. And again, thanks for coming, and we'll see you all soon.